everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today is the day. It is finally here where I sit down and record at least one of them. So if you're interested in seeing which one I pick and what I think of it, stay tuned. Okay, hello. Let's get this started the right way. My name is Shelby, and I am the mom portion of Beauty Not Mom, for those of you that don't know. To our returning subscribers, welcome back. I am so happy you decided to come back and check out this video, and to anybody new to our channel, welcome. We would love to have you stick around and just hang out and have fun. I have a lot of good things coming, but first off, and yes, I'm getting to it, I promise you guys, the Morphe giveaway's coming after this. So, we have here, for those of you that don't know, I adore Natasha Denona's eyeshadows. Since long before they were popular on YouTube, I've been talking about them. Because I purchased them just on a whim. I purchased the two 28 pan palettes, and I hauled those on my channel way back in the beginning. Anyways, long story short, I fell in love literally from the very beginning and have not looked back since. There is probably only, and I suspect, I can't say for sure because I haven't tried them yet, but there is only one person who I think might have a chance of running neck and neck with Natasha Denona, if not surpassing, who knows? And that's Pat McGrath, but I have not. She has the Mothership palettes. She released 3 of them, which was her first eyeshadow palette release, and I don't have them in my hands yet. So anyways, but back to these beauties. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll know the Sunset palette and me have a very nasty history together. Our relationship did not start off good because I was on Beautylicious pre-notification type list thing they had for the release of this. This was a limited edition palette. Anyways, well, apparently because Sephora released it early, or earlier than Beautylicious had planned, I guess they decided they wanted to get in on those sales too, and so they released it ahead of time without letting anybody know. So those of us who logged on at the time we were supposed to, hoping, you know, thinking we were going to be able to buy this, guess what? It was already sold out. And it was sold out at Sephora by then too. So, and it was sold out on Natasha's website. Those are the only 3 places I'm aware of right now you can get them, and that's Natasha Denona's website herself, Sephora, and Beautylicious. So I was not a happy camper, and I'm telling you, I waited months and months and months and months to get this before finally breaking down and buying it on eBay. And guess what? Right after I bought it on eBay, it was re-released as a permanent palette. So Sunset palette, since she made me wait, I'm going to make her wait. And we're going to move on to this beauty, and this is the Lila palette. Yes, I know you've probably heard a lot of people pronounce it Lila, but it is Lila, which means purple. I'm really anxious to try these because Natasha Denona herself has said that she's kind of tweaked the formula on the mattes in these. Compared to like the 28 pans. I have the 2 28 pan palettes. I have her star palette. What else do I have? All of her big palettes. All of her larger palettes. Can't even remember all of them now. Isn't that something? And if you want to see any of them swatched, let me know, because I'd be happy to do it, because I love swatching. Let's get on to little details here. Okay, so let's do some price breakdowns on this. The Lila palette sells for $129. It is available on Natasha Denona's website. It is available in Sephora, and is available at Beautylicious. no affiliation with anybody. I'm just telling you, and Beautylish is the only website available where you can pay 3 payments. And it's a really nice feature. What I'm going to say, I'm not going to advise you to get a palette. If you can't afford it, it's just that simple. You shouldn't get it because there's no, don't put yourself in debt for anything, let alone makeup. Save for it and then get it. But if it makes it easier on your finances to pay in 3 equal payments, Beautylish does have that option. And it's not a situation for those of you out there worried, oh, I have horrible credit, blah, blah, that's not the situation. They do 3 equal payments, comes out of your bank account using your debit card, and that's it. Just make sure, like with anything, if you agree to do 3 payments to them, that you stick to them, because otherwise, you'll ruin your reputation with a company that could be a big benefit to you. Now, another thing too is that both of these palettes, meaning the Sunset and the Lila palette, are available as a duo for $258 on Beautylish's website if you're interested in getting the both of them. Okay, now, another thing I hear from everybody over and over is, oh my God, they're so expensive, they're so expensive. Now, if you're taking just the price of the palette, $129, you think, yeah, that's a lot of money. I mean, there's no question about it, especially for an eyeshadow palette. But what you have to do is take a second, back up a step, and break it down. So let's do some price breakdown for you. This has 15 eyeshadows in it, okay? They are 2.5 grams each. Now, let me say, 2.5 grams is enormous compared to the average eyeshadow. The average eyeshadow on the market has anywhere from 0.9 or so to about 1.5 on the high end. I mean, that's a good range. These have 2.5 grams in them. You're getting a lot of product in here. So I'm just looking at my notes here real quick. So if we take 15 shadows and we divide that into the price of the palette of $129, we get $8.60. So each one of the shadows in this palette is $8.60. Now if we take it even a step further than that, we take $8.60 and we divide that into 2.5 grams, we come up with 3.44, which means you are paying $3.44 per gram. I'll tell you, comparison to what's on the market, that's a good price and it's a fair price. So let's take an example. Here's Urban Decay Heat Palette. This retails for $54. And we have 12 eyeshadows in here. So if I take 12 eyeshadows and I divide that into $54, that gives me $4.50. So each shadow in this palette is $4.50. So if I divide that into the 12 shadows, if I divide the 12 shadows into the 1.3 grams, that means that they are $3.46 per gram. So as an example, this is $3.44 per gram. This is $3.46 per gram. So, if you think about it in terms of price per gram, Natasha Denona is running about at Urban Decay's price level. And Urban Decay is one of the higher priced point eyeshadows in terms of high end. But when you get into luxury stuff, like if I were to take out a couple of my Tom Ford palettes or my Dior palettes and stuff, yeah, Natasha Denona's price is very fair for what you get. So that's the price. Now let's talk about quality. In my personal opinion, and I'm 48 years old for those of you that don't know, and I've been having makeup applied to me since I was 14, I think is when I started modeling. And that's not even counting the years and years of experience I have with purchasing products and applying eyeshadows myself. And I have to say that I honestly have yet to find an eyeshadow that I like better than Natasha Denona's. There's something about her formula. I'm really anxious to try these because I believe she's tweaked the formula in the Sunset. The Sunset palette, I believe, was her first change of formula, and I'm comparing that to like her 28 pans in the Star palette and stuff like that. So I'm real anxious to try those. And I also did order, and I have her holiday collection. I will be reviewing that for you coming up, and that's a completely new formula. So I'm really anxious to try that. So for now, let's take a peek at what's in here. How about that? I have not opened this palette yet. I haven't touched it. I do have to say one thing. I love Natasha Denona's packaging. I really do. This packaging is sturdy. I can take these palettes with me anywhere. All of her palettes that are her larger palettes, her 5-pan palettes are they're in a small plastic packaging, as you'll see, and if you saw my previous Sephora haul, I hauled one in there. But I love this packaging. I really do. But, I hear a lot of people grumble about this. And, say they were going to rip it out and stuff. Now, personally, myself, I wouldn't touch this. I would leave this here. And when I hear people, bitch and complain about this, I think, oh, they haven't worked with Natasha's eyeshadows very much then. Because if you want a good idea of what happens to Natasha's eyeshadow palettes when you remove this, take a look at Tati's most recent Natasha Denona video. And she takes out her 28-pan palette. And yeah, so needless to say, this is a very, in my opinion, I think it's great she's got the names on here. It's not necessary for me personally. What is necessary though is this, because this really helps when the palette's closed. It not only keeps the shadows separated from the mirror, but it really helps to keep them in their place because they are a softer formula. Now, for those of you, God, this is beautiful. Like I said, this is my first time actually seeing it in person. There's nobody that does a metallic like Natasha. I mean, her formula on her metallics. Now, another thing I'm really anxious to try with these, it's my understanding that, from some of the research I've done and reading about how, she formulated these and stuff, that basically, like, for instance, if you were to use the metallic, let's say you laid the metallic heavy on your lid and you just wanted to do a real quick look, you didn't want to mess around with a bunch of transition color and stuff. Let's say I wanted to use this purple one right here. I could lay that purple real thick on the lid so I had that real heavy metallic impact, but then I could take a nice soft blending brush and blend and work it up to the crease. And apparently, and I'm going to be testing this out, she's designed these metallics so that, not that they're self-blending, but that they gradiate. So in other words, you can take it from a real intense metallic impact and you can blend it out so that it gives a real soft focus look. So I'm anxious to try that. And again, my understanding, she has reformulated the mattes. This palette contains 1, 2, 3, 4 mattes. I want to look up so I give you the right information because I know, I've heard a lot of people say, oh, the rest are all shimmers. No, they're not, because I know for a fact that we've got duochromes in here. I can see 2, right? 3. It looks like there's 3, maybe even 4 duochromes in here. And we've got some metallics, and it looks like there's a chroma crystal, at least 1. So I'm going to get the details on that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm on Natasha's website, and this is what she says about it. It says, inspired by her love for the purple color scale. Boy, Natasha, you and I, girl, we are not alone. Natasha created the Lila palette just in time for fall. This palette features 15 brand new gorgeous eyeshadow shades in a combination of warm and cool violets, plums, and fuchsias, perfect for every skin tone. This palette includes all 4 classic Natasha Denona eyeshadow textures in her signature chroma crystal, creamy matte, metallic, and new innovative duochrome shades. Unfortunately, it'd be nice if when I look on the back of the box, I kind of wish she'd change this for us layman people, because while she has each individual shadow listed here and what it is and the individual ingredients for it, she has them listed as texture 9, texture 13, texture 14, texture 15, and texture 16, which tells me nothing because I don't know what, those textures stand for. Now I just spotted where the same thing is on the website. Up here, it lists, on the top of the box, it lists texture, but down here where the little pan are, where they are, I guess M stands for, that would be metallic, I guess. Yeah, metallic. M stands for metallic. Just be nice if she had a little, key on here that's M metallic, because most of the time when you see M, you think matte, but in this case, her CM is matte for creamy matte. So we've got creamy matte, metallic, duochrome, and what's the other one? I guess chroma crystal is the K. What is S? See, this is, I really wish she'd put a thing on here that tells you, what is S? Satin? I don't know what S is, and it doesn't say on here. Okay, so again, we've got the 4 creamy mattes, is what she calls them. Top, we've got Cyclone is a duochrome, which I could definitely see that one. Row, there are no duochromes, and on the bottom, Livid, I can definitely see that that's a duochrome. And Dragon Bite, definitely see that's a duochrome. I thought maybe this one has this, what's this, Purpure, but it's not. It's just a metallic, but it's gorgeous. It's really a multi-dimensional metallic. So, and then this one down here, which is Juno, has an S by it, so I can only assume maybe it's a satin formula. I don't know. There's no description or anything. And then this one right here is Magnolia, and this is her only chroma crystal in this. So I'm going to be really anxious to try this chroma crystal and see how that performs, because that was really the only complaint I had about her Star palette, is that the chroma crystals have a tendency to, in the earlier palettes, to break apart. Now I know that with her holiday release, oh god, you guys, wait till you see it. It's stunning, and I've only seen it in videos. I've already ordered it. The box is sitting right there. Actually, my husband ordered it for me. I should correct that, because that's a technicality he's not going to like if I don't correct it. So as a surprise to me, I was kind of feeling real down with everything that's going on with, you know, I'm ready to have these suckers just say, take them off. Because I've had it with this whole thing. But anyways, I was feeling a little down, so my husband ordered Natasha Denona's holiday collection for me. I always keep the things I want in my baskets, and anyways, so that'll be coming up, so I'll be anxious, but the colors are stunning, and what I want to know, Natasha, do tell, I am really curious if she is going to be reformulating any of her past palettes into the creamy powder formula. So let's give you a real close look at this, and then we're going to move on to swatches. And boy, I can't wait to touch these. Look at how beautiful those colors are, you guys. They really are stunning. And you can see, you know, I mean, like, look at these there's a duochrome, and there's a duochrome. Look at the multi-dimensional color that comes out of these. It's really amazing. Okay, now what I'm going to do, just so you know, I am, for the first time, you know, if I'm dealing with a smaller, like 4-pan palette or something, I'm not going to bother with it. But since this is a larger palette here, and we're dealing with 15 eyeshadows, I do want to fully swatch them on my arm. And I want to swatch them with my finger, and I want to swatch them with a brush. One of the things I'm really anxious to try is I want to see if there's a difference in how these perform over primer versus no primer at all. So what I'm going to be doing is, and you'll see this in the video, the bottom half of my arm, I'm going to be applying Urban Decay's primer potion. I bought this just for doing swatches. I'm going to put the primer on the bottom of my arm, and that way when I do my swatches, you can see on clean skin versus on primer. The same color, each color, whether it's a finger swatch or a brush swatch, you'll be able to see that. Because honest to God, I've used these shadows with no primer at all, and they've performed stunning. So now I will tell you, some Natasha Denona shadows do not swatch the best. And I cannot stress enough, do not hold your opinion of this palette to what you see in the swatches. I would not steer you guys wrong. I'm telling you this. Until I get my hand on Pat McGrath's eyeshadow palettes or Mothership palettes, if I ever do, and compare them, there's nothing else on the market that I'm aware of right now that is as good as these. So there's only really 2 brands out there that I think have a chance. And one is Pat McGrath and one is Visart, and I've tried neither. So for right now, Natasha Denona holds the head for me. So let's get on with the swatches, and afterwards I'm going to do a quick little application demo and we'll see how it goes. Okay, there's one quick look at her before we get started. Nice and clean, no fingerprints, and what I'm going to do is one row at a time going from left to right. Now, I'm just going to try a real quick eye lick with this baby. And we'll see how she performs on the eyes. How about that? First off, I know this is going to look messy, but I'm just going to lay down some powder under my eyes. Oh God, it's going everywhere. Normally I would just use a shadow shield, but what the hell. Let's get into this beauty. I'm going to start off, let me think here. I have no direction. I'm starting off with a Wayne Goss 03. These are my favorite brushes of all time to use so far. Love them. Never tried these on my eyes before, so I don't know how they're going to perform or how pigmented they are. I'm going to start off with Per Se. Oh wow. Yeah. Really pigmented. Actually, I think I'm going to go to a little bit rougher of a brush here real quick. Blends beautifully. Look at that. Beautiful blend. Let's see here. Using my Wayne Goss 19, I'm just going to build that up a little bit. I'm kind of finding that these blend a lot better with a brush that's not quite as soft because they are so creamy. I mean, that's a really good name for them. They're very creamy, and trying to blend them with an extremely soft brush just doesn't work the way I normally expect it to. I'm going to go with Amara. And my Wayne Goss 19. Oh God, I just noticed the light's blowing me out. Hang on. Sorry about that. I hope you guys were able to see what I was doing, because I didn't realize that the sun had crept around and was blowing everything out. My mistake. These are beautiful. They really... Natasha, definitely the chemist she's working with, and her opinion on what they're doing and her authorization. telling him the direction to go. Definitely got a good team and she knows what she's doing because these are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And they don't take any time at all to blend. I'm just fussing because, I don't know, I think kind of when you get in the habit of doing that, you know, you continue to even when you don't need to. That's basically the situation here. I don't need to continue blending. I'm just having fun doing it, so have any fallout. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of the powder under my eyes. Maybe put a little on my forehead where I'm getting hot. I'll tell you, that's amazing to have this kind of pigmentation and no fallout. That's just amazing. I'm going to start off with Livid, which is a duochrome. And I'm just going to put a little bit of this right here. And because I have hooded eyes, you're going to see me take it above my natural crease. Look at that. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Okay, and then I'm going to add, what is this, Dragon Bite, I think? Yeah, Dragon Bite, which is also a duochrome. Oh wow. That is really something. You know, I don't know if you guys know this, but duochromes are, what's the easiest way I can explain this? Basically, the reason you see a lot of duochromes the same, like blue-black type things and stuff like that, is because there's basically a standard duochrome that's coloring that's already made. And then people can, you know, brands can add that to, you know, their palette with their formula and stuff like that. These duochromes here, these are not standard colors. These are colors that have been made from the ground up. And that takes not only a lot of time, it takes a lot of money to do that. So I give Natasha props for not just going for the easiest answer, but she wanted, you know, clearly wanted something in her palettes that were not in any other palettes, and gotta give it to her. She's got that. Boy, does she ever. I'm going to take my Wingas 18 and just use this to kind of soften this a little. I wonder if this will pick up on my... Oh, yeah. Look at that. Beautiful. So I'm putting Dragon Bite on the very inside of my eyelids. Putting Livid kind of in the middle toward the edge. I'm going to take, let's see here, my Wingas 4, and I just want to really lightly blend these in up here at the top. Now I'm going to go into a little bit of this Magnolia, which is the Chroma Crystal. Oh wow, look at that. Holy cow. Well, you don't need much of that, that's for dang sure. And remember, these are all dry. I'm putting these on dry. I mean, there's no wetting anything here. It's amazing. And I just want to put this kind of right in the middle of the lid here. And then I'm going to go back to the Amara, which is this matte I use. I just want to deepen this up right here and blend the duochromes in. Into my Wayne Goss 3. My Wayne Goss 20 into that first shade I used, Per Se. And I'm going to take this under the eyes. There went my light. And I'm just going to take the Wayne Goss 18 and just kind of fluff it out a little. And then I'm going to go into the Amara shade. Real close to my lash line. And connecting it up. And back to my original pencil brush just to blend this out. My Wayne Goss 4, just to smooth it out. Okay, now let's see, I want to get some of that down below, so I'm going to go into Livid, which is the duochrome. Put that on the inside of my lower lash line. And Dragon Bite on the outside a little. My Wayne Goss 18 and blend these together. Goss number 5, I'm going into that Magnolia, which is that chroma crystal, and I'm going to put that right on the inside tear duct area. And then I want to try a little bit of this Juno right on top of it. Tame down the yellow a little bit. I like the sparkle, but I don't want all that yellow so much. I think I'm actually going to try a little bit of this on my eyelid maybe too. Let me think. Oh yeah, I like that better than the... So I'm just putting Juno right there in the center. I like that actually better with, since I've got such a cool tone look on right now for the most part. Okie dokie. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to go ahead and get my lashes done, and I'll be right back with my opinions on the Lila palette. Okay, so there is my finished look using the Lila palette for my first time ever playing with it. What do you guys think? You know, I don't know what to say. You guys have heard what I think about Natasha Denona shadows before, and I have to say, working with this this new matte formula, because again, this is my first time working with this, because I haven't, let me zoom you out a little, sorry. Yep. this is my first time working with this new creamy matte formula since, you know, I haven't even, I mean, here's the Sunset palette. She's waiting for her video too. So, and I think that's when Natasha changed to the creamy matte formula. It's really interesting because in applying them, they really, I mean, it's a perfect name for them, the creamy matte, because I noticed that maybe it would have been a little bit different had I like laid down, you know, some powder or just a base color of shadow first, but I didn't do that. I went right in with these over primer. And I noticed that with my, you know, Wayne Goss's brushes are very, very soft. And I noticed with those that it, you know, while they blended, oh God, while they were able to blend the shadow, they didn't seem to quite have enough impact on them, enough grip on them to really get that blend in the beginning after you first lay down the color. And I would suspect that that's probably why, if you watch Natasha's videos, she uses a brush not like this, but, you know, similar. It's kind of a flat shader, fluffy flat shader brush she uses in almost all of her tutorials. And now I know why. I can understand why she uses that flat, you know, having a fluffy flat shader brush that has a more compact bristle but is still soft and fluffy so it can blend. I think that'd be perfect with these creamy mattes. So if you're, you know, trying to blend them and maybe you're not having as much luck blending them with your standard blending brushes, I would try moving down to a shorter, fluffier shader brush and trying that, because once I went in with that, it just blew it. I mean, it just literally bloomed. I mean, it was, you know, in a good way, not in a bad way. Some, you know, one shadow's blooming, but this, you know, it had enough of a stiff enough bristle, but fluffy enough that it just took it and just blew it out beautifully. So I think that that's the trick to working with the creamy mattes, is just, and that initial, I'm talking about the initial laydown of color, not after you have a, you know, a good laydown of color and there's a base. I'm talking about that initial laydown of color. But I noticed that, you know, I'd really like to get that brush that she has, that she uses in all her tutorials, and try that out and see how that works with her particular shadows, because every tutorial I watch of hers that she lays down shadows with that brush, it just looks beautiful. But of course she's got talent behind the hand too, so that makes a big difference. So anyways, would I recommend this palette? Absolutely. The colors are beautiful. The pigmentation, there is not a shadow in here, whether I swatched it, whether I applied it to my eyes. There's nothing in this palette that's a dud. You know, it'd be one thing if I was dealing with this and saying, oh, well, there's, you know, a dud here and there, so maybe the price point's not worth it. First off, I've already gone over in the beginning with you the price point on it, and it's very comparable to what's on the market right now. The only difference is you're paying a higher price point because she's putting a bigger pan size in here. And I don't know, since I haven't talked to Natasha directly about that, I'd sure like to know why it is that, because of the fact that she's putting these out for the general consumer, why it is that she makes such a large pan size. I have a feeling it's because she's appealing to the makeup artist with these, who, you know, makeup artist doesn't want to, you know, invest over and over and over in small pan palettes, you know. So that might be why, and she's a makeup artist herself too, so she's probably appealing to what she likes as an artist. But I do wish in the future, so that Natasha's shadows could be available to more people, if she put out a palette like this, you know, maybe a smaller one, maybe you know, an 8-pan palette or something that had smaller pans. You know, another thing might be she might be going with a bigger shadow size because of production cost. Because, you know, these are really well-made palettes. These are not junky palettes. And now, you've heard me say this before, but I'll say it again. The shelf life on this particular one is 24 months. But as I said in my review of the 28 pans, 24 months comes, you'll have to literally pry this from my dead cold hands, because I'm not getting rid of this at 24 months. Unless I have some major flood or something, that puppy's staying with me till the end of time. Anyway, so, you know, it would really be nice if at some point, you know, like I said, it could be a production issue, because obviously the more product you're putting in the pans, you know, the more product you're buying, the more product you're purchasing, and therefore, you know, you're able to get a bulk price on things. So that might be an added factor as to why she produces these with such large pan sizes. But what in the future, I would love, love, love to see Natasha come out with just like a little 8 pan that has maybe 1.5 gram shadows in it, you know, an all-in-one look palette type thing. And I really think, you know, something that starts from the very beginning to the end. So it has a light shade for a lay down or a brow bone highlight, going all the way through transition, a highlight metallic, and all the way to black to darken. You know, I mean, I would love to see her put out something like that. And if she put it out in a smaller pan size, my hope is that because of the, you know, I don't know, since I'm not on the side of production, it might end up being the same damn cost because you're purchasing less. Who knows? But I'd like to see her come up with some way to do a smaller size or a different, you know, something different so that this is more accessible to more people. Because I really think, I cannot stress this enough, once you try her shadows, you'll be hooked. And Natasha needs to realize that too. So the more she figures out a way to make this available to the everyday consumer, her products, once they try it, they'll never go back. I mean, literally, the first time I purchased a Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette, every other one that's come out, I've wanted it. I haven't even cared about what colors were in it, haven't cared anything. The minute I heard it was releasing, I wanted it. So anyways, so that's the look I created my first time working with the Lila palette. I love it, love it, love it. I highly recommend it. I cannot stress enough, it is worth every penny. And this is a palette, I mean, if you figure your average eyeshadow pan, like I said, has between 0.9 and 1.3 grams or so, you figure these are 2.5 grams. Let me ask you, how many times do you hit pan on eyeshadow? You know, these are going to last me forever. I mean, I will probably end up passing these down to my daughter. So, and just in closing here, I know this has been a long video, but let's just take a peek at what's coming next. Oh yeah, look at her. This is my first time opening it. Oh my god, that yellow orange up there. Look at that one. So that's a peek at the Sunset palette. She'll be coming next, along with Natasha Denona's Holiday 2017 collection that my husband got me. I have both the eyeshadow palettes, the 5-pan eyeshadow palettes, and I have all of the, I think they're called chroma crystals, that are in the little pots. So I can't wait to play with those. Anyways, I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry for the length. I'll try and edit it down as much as I can, but I wanted to be able to give you the information on the palette, show you the swatches, and a little eye demo. So until next time, I love you. I hope wherever you're at, life's treating you good. And if you're going through struggles, you're beating those bitches back. Make sure and subscribe and give this video a like if you would. And I promise I'm getting that Morphe video coming up real soon. So don't forget, everyone, show love and respect. Bye!